I call the it's June 10th, right?
Yes.
I call the June 10th, 2025 Agricultural Commission meeting to order. First item of business is acceptance of the April
No,
March
Because we canceled
minutes.
April.
That's right, we skipped April.
But
The
we did not
March
approve
minutes.
March yet.
Would anybody care to make a motion?
I move to accept the March minutes as sent.
All right, we have a motion to accept the March minutes. Is there any need for discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. On to the treasurer's report.
We have, make sure I'm in the right column here. We have, at the moment, $524.81 in the budget. That includes the May National Grid invoice, but not the June, so there's another National Grid invoice coming out of that. And we have $6,803.36 in the donation account, which includes the June 5th deposit that I just picked up tonight. That was 200
and something.
215 maybe? 215. So I got the May 27th one of 270. Well, that's all in the correspondence anyway. I'll go over that. But I think that brings everything up to date before the year-end spending. So a total of $7,328.17 available.
I move we accept the treasurer's report.
A motion to accept the treasurer's report. Is there any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Community garden report.
I'm going to skip the stuff that comes later. Try to do it all in order.
The money bits.
Okay, so all fees have been collected from the gardeners as of that last deposit. If my documentation is correct this year, from the Berlin residents, we took in $380 for the plots. The out-of-town gardeners, $450 for the plots, and then straight donations, $450 for a total of $1,280. Hopefully I got my numbers right. Two gardeners pulled out right before the opening. There are a little over 3 gardens that will be used for the food pantry again this year. And there is one undecided plot that is currently tarped off, and we're going to decide what to do with it. We submitted a lovely group photo to Tower Hill for the award. The award ceremony is the 26th of June, if anybody wants to go to it with me. It's their annual meeting, and they'll be presenting all the awards to the people. It's a Thursday. The meeting's from 4 to 6, but they want the people who are getting awards to arrive at 3. I don't know, we want to take all our pictures or whatever. General stuff, the bins are holding well that we put in. The person who does the maintenance is going to look to repair the picnic table, see if it can be done, and if not easily, then I'll come back to talk about a replacement. He also did a really great gate latch repair for us. The old mechanism was kind of cheap and kept jamming, so he put a hardcore one in there, and now it works very nicely. Now if I can just get the gardeners not to leave the code on it, will be good. The gardener that we are supporting this year, I gave them cash to purchase their plants and seeds. and have also helped support them with items that have been donated back to the garden at the end of the season, such as tomato cages and stakes and hoses. I offer things to them first before I put it out to the garden community to help them be successful in what they're doing. So that's the general report for now.
Alright. Need a motion to accept the community garden report.
Motion made.
Second. Is there any need to discuss the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Review of incoming or correspondence.
Okay. This goes back into March because we haven't had a meeting since then. So National Grid invoice for March was $15.33. There were deposits to the donation account on March 17th totaling $570. On March 24th totaling $110. On April 1st, there was a whole bunch of thank you letters that went out for donations to the community. Those are just pure donations, right? I
Yeah,
think.
I also send one to the man who does the repairs and the maintenance.
Okay.
That should be in there. And
Okay.
then I still owe one to Cully's for the septic, so.
Okay. April 3rd, there was another deposit to the donation account totaling $30. April National Grid bill $15.59. May National Grid bill $15.82. May 14th deposits to the donation account were $110. Town accountant ledger balance verification came in through April 30th. And I found it in my pile when I was getting ready to come here today. It was due a few days ago, but I put it in the box tonight, so that's all set. May 27th deposits to the donation account were $270, and June 5th deposits to the donation account were $215. So there's a lot of money swirling around. And then I don't know if you want to jump.
You can do emails.
AdComs, yeah. So there was really only one, and I don't know if you got what I forwarded to you today. Did you see it? It's from somebody
I
named
don't think I looked at it.
Sarah Gardner, and it was entitled Agricultural Commission Support and Roundtables and Survey. And I will read part of it. There's apparently a group, I don't know if it's just these two people, it's Pete Westover and Sarah Gardner. The name of the group is Conservation Works, LLC. And it basically says, you are receiving this message because you are or were a member of your town's agricultural commission or because you are involved with farming or farmland in your town. We work with the Mass Department of Agricultural Resources to provide free assistance to local ag commissions. We can help towns create ag commissions, help existing ag commissions in their mission to support farm and farmland, pass right to farm bylaws, track Chapter 61A lands, resolve conflicts between farming and non-farming residents, and in general help organize the farming community to strengthen agriculture and protect farmland. In the fall, we will be holding regional AgCom roundtables around the state. We hope you will attend. And I guess they have AgCom website, explains our services in more detail, which I have not looked at. It doesn't actually give the URL, it's just a link. And then there's a survey, so tell us your town's agricultural interests and needs. Please fill it out to let us know if your town has an active AgCom and if you'd be interested in talking with us or receiving assistance with agricultural initiatives or in hosting or participating in a regional agricultural roundtable. And a link to the survey. Please forward this message to other AgCom members or former members or friends of farming in your town. Thank you. I was like, okay. So I have not looked at any of the, links or anything. I figured
Okay.
I can send it to the whole. I sent it to him because I got it this afternoon. was like, maybe we should talk about this tonight, so.
Yeah, we can check that out.
Why don't I just send it to everybody and we'll
Yeah.
take it up later, because
Okay.
it doesn't sound like there's any immediate need, but I can
Sounds
also.
like
No
it's
present.
starting in the fall.
In the fall, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So we can all look at it and chat in August.
let me write down my action item. That was it.
Alright. Unfinished business, AgCom vacancy. I haven't had a chance to play with that at all, but we can gloss over that until
And nobody jumped
Um,
out of the bushes yet, so.
next time.
Well, I wonder if Shane's buddy is still interested, or
Yeah,
I haven't
we
talked to
can.
him about that for a while, so.
Yeah, it seemed like Shane had maybe a few folks in mind, so.
Yeah,
we
I
can-
think it was two brothers or something.
Yeah, we can wait until he's with us again to dive into that. I had beekeeping on the community garden, just on here from last time.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know if
hives
there's
are
any-
up.
Yeah.
They're outside the fence to the rear of the garden. There is a fencing around it. And there are 3 people who are involved in working with it.
Tending it.
They've all submitted their waivers, and I have a copy, and the town administrator has a copy of the waivers. So
Nice.
I haven't really looked at it much. I went to do the weed whacking around the perimeter and was over there a couple of days after they had released the bees, so I wasn't spending much time there. I kind of made my way around it just in case they didn't like their new home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to upset them with the noise either.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But seems to be going
Nice.
along fine so far.
Good. No
Okay.
complaints about stings yet?
No, and people are pretty excited.
Good.
You know, for
Yeah.
the most part, people are very supportive of it and glad that we finally have that there,
Good.
so it was a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, it all works out. As long as the bear doesn't
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
That is the concern.
Never
They're back.
Yeah.
They broke through our fence again, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours was back again while we were away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
AJ called me, he says, do you know your fence is like compromised? I'm like, what? So it was a weekend, so Mike and I went over and, you know, it's cattle panel. So it's like just,
Mhm.
it's on a pole and it's, you know, secured, but it was like open this much. And we all looked at it and said, and it went into the pasture, not out of the pasture, like an
Mhm.
animal, you know, like one of our animals pushed it, and none of our animals had been out.
Yeah.
I was like, we all at the same time said bear. And I was like, yeah, it was the only thing that could have done it.
Yeah.
So we went around and we closed up 2 other holes. And okay.
Let's see here. New business. End of year garden purchases.
Okay, that's my other part. So, I am requesting tonight reimbursement for miscellaneous items that I had to buy when opening the garden and getting the water system all back on. Some of the splitters were leaking really badly. I tried WD-40ing most of them to see if I could get, it was mainly the valves wouldn't shut off, but I had to get a couple of those. I had to get another key made for the master locks to give to Shane. I had to get some hooks for the shade thing, another hose to repair the lines that we send to the back of the garden, and some mulch for the butterfly garden, which we can't use the wood chips on. So all of that came out to $74.75, so I'm gonna request reimbursement for that tonight. So, I had contacted Laura about the amount that was left, the $524.81, which we decided, or Laura suggested that I start at the $500 level so that we left some money in for the electric bill for June. So from that 500, we have 300 in the budget still for Shane to bring a load of compost in. And then we also had in the budget money for landscaping cloth, more landscaping pins, and so I'd like to purchase those. Of course, they were in the budget. I haven't done that yet, but I will prior to the end of the fiscal year. And then we have one of those claw cultivators tools that somebody broke in the garden. I'm gonna see if I can get it repaired, but I would still like to buy a new one. So that amount of what I just said adds up to about $81. And if I add that and the amount that I'm requesting for, to be reimbursed, it brings our money down to $6.25. I hope that made
Nice.
sense the way I did it.
Yeah.
I still have the $20 Crazy Deal card that I'm gonna hold for during the summer, any small things that I have to buy. I probably am gonna need another watering wand for the disabled area. I have a hand thing right now, but the wand is so much better, and they don't, no matter what I buy, they never last very long.
Yeah.
So that, and then when we talk again, for our FY '26 money, I wanna look into getting another wheelbarrow. We have one that had a plastic tub, and it is just, it's crap. People throw rocks in it. It's like, what are you thinking? You don't throw rocks in a plastic wheelbarrow. But that's gonna need to be replaced, or else they're not gonna be able to carry rocks because the whole bottom's gonna be open. And that is all for the money, so I would like to get this signed off and then permission to spend the additional $81 for the landscaping cloth pins and that cultivator tool.
Motion made?
Yeah, do we wanna do it all into one motion?
I don't know, I don't see why we can't do it all under one motion.
No, yeah, so it's the 74, 75 plus the 81?
Yeah, that's for me, and then 300.
Plus 300 for Shane.
Plus 300 for
300
Shane.
would be for Shane for the compost. And he can get that down there anytime in the next couple of weeks. They've pretty much depleted the pile, so.
Does that come to 455.75?
That sounds right. I didn't do it that way. Hold on. $493.75.
493.75?
That includes the 300, the 81, and the 74.75. Did I do it right? Well, I came out to 625, so I must. Actually, I came out to 3106, but that includes the national bill. National
Yeah,
grid
we
bill.
left 24.
And some change,
81
yeah.
for the bill, and then it
Plus
was
the 625
625 was
and that-
left.
Oh, let me look at what last year's June national grid bill was, just for. last year's National Grid bill for June was $16.74. So,
Okay.
that's plenty.
So we'll turn about $10 back to the town.
Alright, so we have a motion to reimburse Deborah for $74.75 plus spend $81 on miscellaneous garden equipment, and then $300 for
Compost.
compost from Shane Wheeler. Is there any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, we'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. Alright. Was there anything else in relation to spending money at the garden?
I think we spent it all.
Got it down there. Alright, the only other thing that's on the agenda is just AgCom reappointments. I think the plan that the select board has is they're just gonna reappoint anybody
That doesn't
who's
resign.
already a member unless they hear that somebody doesn't want to be reappointed. I can check with Dee and just see who's up. I think it may just be me.
Okay. I have absolutely no idea. And you know what? On the My Town Government page, it has all the dates and they're all wrong.
Yeah, I know, I need to
'Cause-
update that.
But I
Um,
tried fixing
on
them,
the-
but I don't. I've totally lost track. So.
Oh yeah, on the webpage as well. That was my problem. Is I went to go update them and I said I should double check and make sure that I have the right dates before I start changing. So I can work on that. But if anybody doesn't want to be reappointed,
Okay.
let me know. At some point, it's been a while since we've looked at reorganizing as well. But we could
What
talk
do you mean
about
by
that now.
reorganizing?
Like
Officer
every
positions.
year when Carl would say, "Who wants my job?"
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been long enough that I can start asking now. We can talk about that now if anyone wants to, or we can wait until we have more bodies present.
Probably. Well, I mean, it would be nice to have the vacancy filled before we
Yeah,
think
as
about
far as-
that.
yeah, figuring out who's
Even
gonna
though
go.
I don't think whoever's coming in should be the chairperson, but like right off the bat, but
No, unless they have experience
right,
doing that elsewhere.
right.
Although it's pretty easy. That's the agenda.
Do we want to talk about a 7:30 start time?
Yeah, I know
it's
we
not on
talked
the
about
agenda,
that
but-
last time as well, but we can probably just move the meeting if we want to, but I can reach out to everybody and find out
Okay.
if we can take a vote if you want. And
Do we meet next month?
usually we skip July, I think.
Yeah, usually we do.
We skip May and July and do August.
But
Um,
if we have
If there's anything that we need to do minimize.
anything that needs to be signed, to be turned in before the deadlines and all that, you're just gonna.
If I can get all this done, I can see Shane. I wrote up his paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can sign off on this, I'm gonna need to get Shane's signature on
Okay,
the paperwork for the reimbursement anyway.
okay.
So this should all, it'll be the new stuff that I buy, we'll have to get signed off on.
That's what I'm thinking,
But I
yeah.
can chase you all down, I know where you live.
Can't get to
I
my
found
house.
you before.
I'll be
Can't
at
get
the
to my
front.
house anymore.
Well, you still can, you just can't
Actually,
go
from
through.
your end of town, you can.
Yes,
From the other end of town, you can't.
you have to take the big loop.
It's impossible for me to get there from the farm.
Yeah, so I don't mind doing that,
Okay.
we'll work that out.
Yeah, if anything comes up and we need a meeting, just let me know.
Okay.
So we'll plan on
It's easy to
August.
post.
I might be away that.
When is it in August?
I'll look at the date. I think I'm away that Tuesday.
Is, oh my goodness, it's after the Bolton Fair instead of before this year.
Hmm.
That almost never happens, because it's always
Yeah.
the first full, no, it isn't, I guess it's the second full weekend in August or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's very early this year.
Good.
August 12th is our next meeting.
I'll come home for it because I have to come home once a week anyway, so I'll just schedule
I was gonna say,
the date I come home, which is family date.
it's a commitment.
I like to get away myself when
I don't
Maybe we
blame
should
you.
adjourn the meeting.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I move we adjourn.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.